Just hiking here in some pretty woods in Jasper National Park, Canada. Hiking along this trail. So this is another in my travel tales. If you're looking for some fun, interesting, creative, adventurous, exciting travel reading, check out my book, Following My Thumb, A Decade of Unabashed Wanderlust, which chronicles my travels throughout the 1990s with 26 different travel stories from all around the world. Link down below the video here. So this is from India. I've been to India 5 times now. Winter of 2008. Actually December 2007 going into winter 2008. And I had just flown into Delhi and took the train up to Rishikesh, which I'd been to before. Rishikesh is on the Ganges River in northern India in the foothills of the Himalaya mountains, and it's where the Beatles went in 1968 and studied yoga and meditation with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And it's a fun place to hang out and lots of yoga and other stuff going on. On the train, then I ended up sitting next to a family of Italians, a man and a woman and their daughter who was roughly my age, so the couple was older. And somehow we got on the subject, I think just out of the blue, because I was interested in finding some hot springs up in the Himalaya mountains. I asked them if they happen to know of any hot springs, in that general area up north of Rishikesh. And they said yes. There's this place called Gangnani, and they gave me just kind of a very vague idea of what was there. They said, you have to go up to the town of Uttarkashi, which is like a full day's bus ride north of Rishikesh, and then from there you're going to have to catch a couple of shared jeep taxis in order to get to Gangnani, and then you'll find somewhere to stay there. There's really nice hot springs. It's on the Ganges River, not that far from where it's coming out of the Gangotri Glacier, which is the headwaters for the Ganges River. It's actually a half-day journey below that, but it's on the way up to the headwaters of the Ganges. And so I said thanks, got off the train, went to Rishikesh, hung out there for the next 2 weeks or something, and then decided to go ahead and give this a try, despite the fact it was now January, and see if I could actually find these hot springs. So took a bus ride from Rishikesh. It was supposed to be like 7 or 8 hours. It turned out to be 10 hours. Going through the Himalaya mountains, up and over these different mountains and ridges and things, getting just spectacular views of the higher snow-capped peaks of the Himalaya off in the distance. And got to this town of Uttarkashi, and then spent the night there. The next day, got up and did as they'd advised, and got a jeep taxi to the next little town, and then from there to the next little town, and then had to pay for the last one myself, direct to Gangnani, because there wasn't really many people going up further from there, considering that it was January. Here's a shot of a spectacular lake here. Pretty awesome. And it's pouring down rain. Going along this very muddy, rutted road with the Bhagirathi River, which is the Ganges, the smaller Ganges River. Pouring down rain, going up this terrible road. Finally, we get to this spot on the road where there's a couple of chai stalls, and he stops and says, "Gangnani," and I'm like, okay, this looks interesting. So get out, pay the fare, and it's kind of a depressing first look. So I just kind of start poking around, and there's a few other buildings up above the road, and finally I come across this one, knock on the door, and an older man opens up the door and asks him if he has rooms available, and he says yes. And it turns out this little lodge is 20 feet away from the hot springs. There's nobody else in the lodge because it's middle of winter. There isn't snow on the ground or anything yet, but you can see snow just a little bit higher up. And So I get a simple little room there for probably like $3 or something, and end up staying there for the next 5 days. Had a really amazing time. Just there's no heating in the room, which is often the case in hotel rooms in India, if they're the budget style hotel rooms. So it was quite chilly. It was just a little bit above freezing, and so I'd be all bundled up in my warm clothes and jacket and everything, or blanket wrapped around me, and then I would go hop in the hot springs on a regular basis, 5-6 times a day. Go hop in the hot springs, then come out, go do yoga in the cold, hiking around. Found a little village that was up above this spot where the hot springs were. That was more of an older village, and there were some young guys there. They were playing cricket. I hopped in and played cricket with these guys for a little bit. Got some spectacular shots of the Himalaya mountains from up in that higher vantage point. And my room was looking down. It had windows on two sides, looking out at the mountains, and then looking down to the Bhagirati River, which was kind of more of just a creek, a large creek at that point. And there was nobody there for most of the 5 days that I was there, except one night. A couple of men that were traveling through stopped by and stayed for the night. Other than that, I had the place to myself. The guy would cook me breakfast and dinner, and there was also no electricity. Normally there was, but it was out for some reason almost the entire time that I was there, except I think maybe the last night. Suddenly the electricity came on, and we had electric light for dinner instead of just lamp light. So pretty awesome time. That was December of 2008 in the Himalaya mountains of northern India. If you're looking for some good reading material, check the link down below the video here to my book, Following My Thumb, an adventure of a decade of unabashed wanderlust, available on Amazon.com as both a paperback and an ebook. Thanks for watching. Here's this awesome lake here, which is Cabin Lake. Really pretty spot.